There you go. How are you? Very good. You don't have to buy them, everybody do sell
Hello, Jerry.
See you.
What? Oh, it's so bright.
Wow.
Hi, good sir.
Yeah, if you are participating. So it's a deal. And the first prize.
Ultimate plowshares, right?
So. Yay, all right.
No, Ruby, and Saturday, so. Oh, there you go, you met her. Yes. At our last coming event. Where do you want me? Do you want to sit one by yourself?
Just want to watch this area so we don't pick them, and I want to use the restroom for it. The restroom is straight through there.
Through there?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Here?
I already got one. Well, nobody other than Spanish, so. Oh, yeah.
And then you can just put the rest out there.
Yeah. Hi, welcome. How's it going? So good to see you again.
Okay.
That's okay.
Two, one, one. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm early, you get a table. Oh.
Yeah, thankfully, yeah, we have.
It's underneath just the sheet. Yeah.
So, but good, yeah. 2-1-1. Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah,
We do have a condition report.
It could be something, that's, we have the old thing, but I mean, if the county would have someplace.
Should I know? I just don't need it. That made me laugh. I will see you on Thursday.
Yeah, that would be,
Thank you so much for coming.
I mean, I see you say, any, every month we have a case, especially if it's a family, somebody's a senior. They say, well, they should have been adopted as well. Maybe.
Oh, we're good. The 21st, we're going to do that. We're going to be singing. Yeah, my husband and Amy all, and I am, and we're going to rhythm instruments and that sort of thing. I'm Carla.
Are you going to be singing that for a nothing dollar?
Oh, the 21st.
As a performance?
I mean, the security.
I know, well, we're throwing something together. We're throwing something together. Oh, very nice to meet you. I think, Mary, we might have met at the, when we were having the event.
Hey, there you go.
At the Fullerton Museum. She had a stage program. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, by the way, they're putting the apartment.
Is that right? Is that right? Did you take up the authority when a salesman came to your door?
Yeah.
Because my husband had the same experiences. And he didn't take it up because piano and other things, but he now has since taken up the authority. Yeah.
And the place, the doctor still nothing is
Yeah,
They had, because the party is too heavy.
yeah.
Fortunately, a girl decided to go.
Oh, good. It's great to have a nap for something. It's a lot of pleasure. It's a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah. The bank, they're actually closing it.
Yes.
Well, I could see more like this
Yeah. This one is,
Did you get the message?
I didn't.
You did. I called it.
Oh, I wasn't reading.
Voicemail.
But I'm here.
Very good. I want to remind you of it.
I'm sorry.
I want to remind you.
Oh, yeah, no, I was trying to get it to me.
Yeah, I think that in the morning.
Yeah. How are you?
If you don't know,
I just have. That's fine, that's not, yeah, no, that's not my business card.
it's okay.
Yeah, I will have some. I'm not there yet.
Nice.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
First week, second week, third week, fourth week, and then weekend. I had this No, he loves to say,
signature deals.
He's been waiting for the whole meeting.
No.
have you seen some of these? No, not a perfect.
Yeah, so that's. The winners of the winners of the tickets, the sellers of the winning tickets.
Is there a box cleaning around here, Joe? Box cleaning? Kleenex?
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope we're all having a good day after Mother's Day, Monday. I had a great Mother's Day yesterday. Well, welcome everybody. We're gonna get started. It's a little bit after 2:30 and give everybody a chance. We thought we were gonna be back in the community room, but we're here for one more month. That's okay. So we're just hoping everybody found their way back over here today from the community room. Good afternoon, my name is Leanna Fercucci. I am the board chair of the Fullerton Collaborative and so happy to be here with you this Monday. I'm so sorry I was out last month, so I'm very happy to be back. We're gonna get right into our agenda today for our meeting. Today, our focus of our meeting is on empowering Fullerton, addressing community needs through collaborative engagement. And we're so happy to welcome a couple different agencies. So we'll be, and shortly I will be introducing Lisa Burke from First 5 Orange County, Vice President of Learning and Community Development. We're also gonna have Michelle Mai from 211 OC. She's the Senior Manager of Partner Engagement. And we will also have our board's own Peter Hernandez from Providence St. Jude Medical Center. He's the Manager of Community Services. And all three of them are going to be giving presentations on how they are supporting the needs of the community of Fullerton. So without further ado, we will start our meeting today with Ms. Lisa Burke from First 5 Orange County. She is going to be presenting a mini Conditions of Children report. If you do not have the report on the table in front of you, there are additional copies up here at the check-in area. So make sure you grab one of those. And without any further ado, here's Lisa. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And yeah, if you don't have a copy of the report, maybe see if you could grab one. I think I brought enough for everyone. Because I'm hoping you are willing to get your hands a little bit dirty. I'm only going to show you a really high level, so but I'll show you some of the key aspects of the report that you can hopefully look at later. So hopefully I whet your appetite a little bit. Can I get a show of hands how many are familiar with the report? So not everyone, so I'll try not to bore those of you who are familiar with it and give good information for the rest of you. So I am with First 5 Orange County. I'm part of the team that develops this report every year. It is funded by the County of Orange Social Services Agency, and then they contract with First 5, as well as a data analysis to put the report together. Next slide. Oh, and feel free to stop and ask questions throughout if you have them. So there are 28 indicators in the report that you see there. The report is intended to give an overview of how children are faring in Orange County across 4 major areas. And you see those here. I know you probably can't read all of the detail here, but this is just to give you a snapshot or at a glance. So the 4 categories we look at are good health, economic well-being, educational achievement, and safe homes and communities. And what this slide shows you is just a general trend of how kids are doing in each of these areas. So if you see a red dot, that means the trend is worsening and we need to improve in that area. If it's dark gray, we are improving in terms of the trend. And if it's light gray, no change over time. And so you can just get a sense that, like for example, under educational achievement and safe homes and communities, the 2 on the farthest right, 1 out of 6 needs improvement. You know, room to grow, but doing okay. But if you look at the health area, I think 5 out of 11 are red, and one of them, I think it's obesity, is light gray. It's a stubborn problem. We're having trouble making any change to that issue that our children face in Orange County. So this is a quick at a glance of how kids are doing. And the other thing I wanted to say is that this data is all available publicly. They're from public data sets or county organizations. So it is, the good thing about it is it gives you all the data in one place about children. So if you flip through the report, you'll see that there's something for everybody for how you take in data. And if you just like flip through it, you'll see every one of them has what I call a headline. So I just happened to pick physical fitness and nutrition. And they have a kind of a pithy 1-sentence statement. In this case, only 1 in 5 children eat the recommended daily serving of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so it's kind of a quick one-liner about how kids are doing. There's also data in prose version or by paragraph, so it'll tell you information about the indicator, what the data source is, why it's important, and the findings that we're finding this particular year. That's if you'd like to get your data by reading. If you'd like to get your data by visualizations, we have several different graphs on every page of the report. So every indicator has a way of consuming the data. And I just wanted to show the different types of data visualizations you'll see throughout the report. On the left, you'll see a line chart that shows a trend over time. So most of the indicators have at least 10 years worth of data, so you can see how are we doing as a county over the past 10 years. On the right top, you'll see a map. About 90% of the indicators do have maps, and that gives you a drill down geographically how kids are doing. And I think I read the flyer for today's meeting that said that you would have some data on Fullerton specifically, and the maps definitely give you more of a drill down by geography, and you can see how Fullerton is doing as a city or as a school district, depending on where the data source is. Then if you keep going around clockwise, the bottom right, that donut chart, that is a single point in time, but it allows us to disaggregate the data. So in this case, it's number of students who did not graduate in a given year, but it gives you the different reasons, so you're able to break out by, to disaggregate the data. In this case, it's by reason for not graduating. And then on the bottom left corner is something we call an equity index. And I want to say maybe 5 years ago, we started really trying to disaggregate the data to show, are there disparities based on race and ethnicity? And so what we would hope to see over time is that everyone is improving, whether it's going down or going up, depending on the indicator. And that gap is narrowing between the top population and the bottom performing population. So we're looking for an improving trend and a narrowing gap in that equity indicator. Any questions on these different types of data visualizations before I dive into the report?
Can you indicate what pages you're on?
I will, yes. As I'm going, I'll share now as I start getting in. This I just wanted to give you a sense of the different types of data, but yes, I will do that.
Is this just a sampling of what the?
Exactly. This is just a sampling to show you the different ways that the data is presented.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That
Any
solves
other-
a lot of problems.
Any other questions?
I apologize for the visual, you can't really see it that clearly.
Hopefully the next ones will be a little bit bigger for you to see, but I will give you the data,
Yeah.
the pages. Okay. So I'm going to pull out a few of the indicators from the good health section. Again, there's a quick summary on the first page of improving, worsening, or staying the same. Next slide. I want to share a few of the indicators that have to do with prenatal care and birth outcomes. So I want to start with the map on the left. That's page 18 in your report. So if you want to flip to page 18, follow along with me. You can see the map in the bottom right-hand corner. So preterm births are important because preterm infants are more likely to suffer lifelong neurologic, cognitive, and behavioral problems. So it's an important health issue that we should track. And in Orange County, overall, preterm births are increasing. That is a trend similar to the United States and California. But when you look at the data by geography, you can see that certain areas are doing better than others. You can see some hot spots. And in this particular slide, the dark red shows the areas that have the highest preterm births. And if you look at the legend in the map, you'll see Fullerton is number 11. And you can see you are in that dark red. But the dark red gives range between, my glasses, 9.6% and 16.7. So it's like a range of preterm births. And where does Fullerton lie? Fullerton is 10.4%. So basically 10% of kids born in Fullerton, and I want to say this is 2021, were born preterm. 1 out of 10 kids. So it gives you good geographic data, and you can compare Fullerton rates to the overall county rate, like an average, or to other geographic areas. And on the right is, on page 22. So I anticipated that question when I wrote the notes, the pages down in my notes, so yay me. Page 22 has low birth weights, and this is showing the race ethnicity disparities, or the different rates by race ethnicity. And this one shows the difference over time. So you're seeing there is some variation in the gap between the highest and lowest performing. It gets a little better, then it gets worse, then it gets better, but really over time we haven't made a big dent in the gap between the different populations in Orange County. The gray dot on the top is Black infants, and the very bottom one consistently is white infants. It just so happens that for this particular indicator, those two populations have consistently been in those positions. And so this type of information can be helpful when we're designing outreach or programs that impact preventative health care and education. Things like doulas, community health workers, Black infant health programs, all kinds of programs that are currently being discussed at the state and being funded in Orange County. Next slide. The other health indicator that I pulled out for you was behavioral health. It's the last orange page, which is page 34. And the behavioral health indicator has several different data points included there. So this first slide is showing students who reported experiencing depression by grade level, and it's got 7th, 9th, and 11th. And the thing that you can see here is that over time, so these are a 3-year average. So the 3-year average between 2013 and 15 compared to 2019 to 21. And you can see that those depression feelings are increasing over time among all 3 of those grade levels. Next slide. And if you look on the right here, if you wanted to then dive into the data a little bit deeper, you can see for the 11th grade population, we pulled out by race ethnicity and also by sexual orientation. And so, very significant differences when you start drilling down and disaggregating the data, how kids are faring. On the left side there is the percent of students that are socially and emotionally vulnerable kindergartners by race ethnicity. So I put a plug in here for data that First 5 Orange County collects. We collect kindergarten readiness data on every child in public schools. We look across their different domains. So how are they doing health-wise, social, emotional, physical readiness for the day, language skills, and how ready were those kids when they hit kindergarten? So it's not really an assessment of how the schools are doing, it's how well did the community and family prepare that child so that when they start kindergarten, they're ready to learn and they're not going to be behind from day one. So that's the data source that you see for the kindergartner readiness on the left. Pause for questions. I know I'm moving along quickly, but there's 3 of us, so how am I doing? Everybody good? Good. So in the section economic well-being, the first indicator, next slide, is on poverty. This is page 38 in your report. And you can see that 10% of kids in Orange County are considered living in poverty. Now that's actually an improvement over the last 10 years. We are doing better in terms of that. But again, if you drill down into the data, some communities are doing better than others. In this case, the dark yellow is the areas that have more significant areas of poverty. In Orange County, Fullerton happens to be 16.1% of kiddos are considered living in poverty. So that's a pretty significant increase compared to the countywide average. Next slide. And one of the things that contribute to that is housing. So we do look at the housing indicator. This is page 44. And the data on housing is from the school districts. This was the McKinney-Vento data, if you've heard of that. And so what they consider homeless families or homeless children is either unsheltered, like living on the streets, motels, but it is also double or triple up in a home. So that's the definition in this case of homeless. And on the left, you can see there is a difference based on race ethnicity, again, that disparity gap. And on the right, you see percentage of overcrowded households. This data is from the census, but again, you can see that the Hispanic Latino population has almost 1 out of 4 kids living in poverty compared to white and African American that are down under like around 5 or lower %. Next slide. The next section is educational achievement. And the indicator I pulled out here is chronic absenteeism. We added this about, I'm going to say it's a relatively new indicator, maybe 4 years ago. And page 60. What I think is so interesting on this particular slide, actually it's not on this slide, but if you look at your report, the top left, the line chart, kindergartners actually have the highest rate of absenteeism. So think about how that sets a child up for the rest of their lifetime in school. Again, I'm an advocate for first 5, prenatal through age 5, but it's really important to have that preventative intervention in kids' lives so that it sets them up for a lifetime of success. And kindergartners have the highest rate of absenteeism. And overall, 21% of Orange County students, kindergarten through high school, had a rate of chronic absenteeism. What that means is 10% of their school, they've missed 10% of instructional time. That's considered absenteeism, chronic absenteeism. And again, there is differences based on race and ethnicity, as you see here. Probably COVID impacted those numbers significantly. You see that huge gap. I think we're all just returning, even though it's been a little while, everybody's getting back into both returning to school, but also data reporting. So that may even out over time. The last area is safe homes and communities. Next slide. Page 64 has an indicator called preventable child and youth deaths. This is looking at unintentional injury and overall injury in the county. And you can see that it is increasing over time. There was 142 deaths for children between 1 and 19 years old in Orange County in 2021. And over half of all child and youth deaths were among the older teen ages. Next slide. On the same indicator, on page 64, we show the top causes of death. And I think the thing to point out here, and this is not a good data point, is that while suicide is typically in the top 3 leading causes of death for 10 to 14-year-olds, this is the first time that suicide was the top leading cause of death in a 3-year period for that age group. So definitely a red flag that we need to pay attention to as a county. Next slide. Okay, so that was a really quick whirlwind through the different sections of this report, but every indicator in here has that type of data. And there are probably 100 additional supplemental indicators if you go to the online version. So you could just Google conditions in children and get to those, or here's the link here. And basically this is a tool for the community to use. We try not to do a lot of editorializing. We don't want to be a lightning rod with the data, but rather to give you data that you need to make informed decisions and for Fullerton and for our community. And I'm happy to answer other questions. And we do have extra copies of the report on the table, but if you have a group that you're interested in providing a report to, I'm happy to provide this as well. Questions? All right, thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa, for all that very, very important information. Okay, next we have from 211 OC, who is now coordinated with United Way. Michelle Mai is going to be reporting out sharing information on their new program for Fullerton residents. Put our hands together for Michelle, please.
Everyone, thanks for having me today. Typically, I'm very loud, so I don't know I need the mic, but just let me know.
Yeah, for the streaming, we're streaming on YouTube.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. So with a show of hands, who knows or who heard about Tulip? It looks like, okay, most of the audience, and who knows about Get Help Lucy? Perfect. Okay, great. Well, we decided early on in 2020, I say 21. We worked with a lot of different agencies called our early adopter agencies. we kind of looked at the system that we have in Orange County. And so we decided that 211 San Diego's Community Information Exchange was the best proven model to adapt here locally with, in Orange County. Next slide. So as you know, our traditional way is that, clients would have to call 211, we would do an intake and assessment, and we would provide the information for the client to reach out, right? And so for the purpose of Get Help OC is to improve that coordination of care for OC residents. It's a shift away that we kind of serve the community by using it as a client-centered model with the no wrong door approach. With the previous referral model, as you can see, clients are often left to navigate services on their own, telling their story over and over again, and providing multiple intakes. And we heard from our community that sometimes they're often left with barriers to navigate services on their own. Next slide. So Get Help OC envisions in cultivating these 5 core components. We do have a network of partners, and I'll show you a slide, future slides of our network partners. So they are participating partners currently. And so what we can do, now I'll just move the previous, next slide. We do have that shared, go back. The shared language is the social determinants of health assessment. We'll go through in a future slide. For those that are working under CalAIM program or enhanced care management, we are changing that tool to kind of reflect CalOptima's needs assessment as well. And then the third is that bi-directional closed loop referrals. So you'll be receiving referrals from 211's contact center team, and then other agencies that are participating is able to refer to your organization as well. So it's not just strictly 211. We are in the process of technology and data integration, so we're hoping to envision the integration of the Homeless Management Information System, which is HMIS if you're familiar with the unhoused or eviction prevention services. And the last but not least is that community care plan for our community. Next slide. Here's just a visual of how you can see. So our 211 contact center creates a profile, assesses the need. We can refer to a direct service provider, so that reduces that barrier, or any community information exchange partner can refer to each other that are participating in Get Help OC. Next slide. So earlier I mentioned our early adopters. They're no longer early adopters. We currently have about 47 participating partners with at least near 300 unique users, and then 146 programs and services that you can refer to. So the amount, and I can tell you the amount of the unique users are also case managers. We do have some that are sheltered, that are using as a case management tool, family resource centers, and senior centers to connect the individual at the time that they come into their facility, instead of referring to 211. We love referrals. But as you build rapport with the client or your client, they tend to kind of, be comfortable with the agency they're working with. Next slide. So as you can see, some of these are our partners currently. Next slide. Next slide. So here's a little brief overview of the social determinants of health. I'm not sure if your agency uses that. In the community information exchange, we have an assessment, and it measures these 14 factors here. The whole point and the purpose of that is to measure where they are, from crisis to thriving state, right? I'm going to use housing stability as an example, since it's the first one. Now let's just say that you have a family living in a car with a newborn child. At that time of intake, they are in a crisis situation, right? As any service provider gets them connected to, let's say, a shelter, the assessment can't be done again. Let's say now they're in a stable environment. As they work with any of the housing navigation, any of the housing navigation team throughout our CalAIM or ECM services. Let's say now they're in supportive housing. They're independent. They're able to kind of be on their own. So then they're in a thriving state. As you know, resources, you can't tell if they got the help they need. There are always people who are saying, yeah, I did, but that's not the true accurate data. So we do have that assessment built into the community information exchange. Next slide. So here's an example of that right assessment, and the 14 factor questions. Next slide. And then here, As I mentioned, each partner that is participating is able to refer and have access to all of the resources. We do have a team of in our resource department that vets the resources to ensure that they meet the inclusion and exclusion policy. We don't want to provide a resource that's not valid or, they haven't been, vetted through the system, right? Next slide. Here's just an example of how the visual of how an agency accepts or denies the referral. If you do deny the referral, what happens is it goes back to our 211 contact center team. From there, we actually reach out to the client and provide a service that might have the capacity to serve them at that time. So they're not falling through the cracks. Next slide. And then here's just a quick, little brief, I don't know if you can see it. This is actually the client demographic page. You'll have all the client information, and we do have like our referrals, where you're able to see all referrals that was sent to the individual, either as a direct referral or the traditional way where the information is text or email. And then under the intake section, you'll see veteran information. We do have a veteran intake form that we work with a lot of organizations that provide like additional demographic information, like their service connection, if they're receiving disability or their branch of service. Under the, also the survey section is that social determinants of health. And I know you can't see it, but there, under the care team members, you'll be able to see who's working with the client. If their case manager's information, their contact number, and because they consent to share their information through Get Help See, you're able to reach out to the organization to see what's going on with the client as the mutual client that you're working with. Next slide. And that concludes my presentation. I know there was another presenter, but I wanted to see if there's any questions that I can answer. Yes.
What kind of services are your clients provided? Within access to a psychiatrist, psychologist? Because you said that you have access and you're able to follow up to see where each client is. So can you provide us a little bit more specific as to the kind of services that they receive?
Yeah, so every case is different, and with the client profile, you're able to see what services was referred to them. It's just every case, depending on their need. We do provide data with the connections and the service gaps as well, but it would be every client need. We have over 3,000 programs the traditional way, but 156 services. So some do include HIV/AIDS positive, shelters, the access points for homelessness. There's veteran services, military families, legal services, senior services. It just all depends on the client needs.
So like mental health, it seems like is a concern. Is what would someone that has mental health issues, who would they get referred to?
So I believe for mental health, we do connect them to clinicians. Our contact center team does assess their needs, but we're not clinicians to be able to connect them to other, but what we do is we do connect them to other agencies that can assess their needs and get them, if they're in a stable environment, we're able to provide mental health services. But if they're not in a stable environment, we do connect them to a clinician or outreach and engagement.
So in that sense, so if somebody's like, say, how many sessions are they allowed to see a specialist?
If they're, I'm sorry.
If they're optimal members, because a lot of the people that we help, they do not have insurance, like a high quality, expensive insurance that we have for limited services. Therefore, if they have optimal, how many services can they get for mental health?
So I don't have the statistics. If I have my business card, if you want to provide your information, I can get the data on the statistics of how many of our programs accept CalOptima. I do know from January to February, our contact center team is now asking what type of insurance, or if they have any insurance. About 70% of our callers are CalOptima recipients. You're welcome. Any other questions?
I'm just going to follow up Lisa and Michelle. Is it okay if I send the people that are here the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have a one-page flyer that's there if you're interested, and also my business card to learn more about Get Help See.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So make sure you signed in so that you get the.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Okay, and without further ado, our final presenter for this afternoon is Peter Hernandez from Providence St. Jude Medical Center. And he also represents our Move More, Eat Healthy initiative that the Fullerton Collaborative supports. And he is going to be presenting resources for Fullerton residents, especially for mental health resources. Let's put our hands together for Peter. And I'll let you introduce your counterpart here.
You want to come up?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, as a reminder, my name is Peter Hernandez, and I work with Providence St. Jude Medical Center, and I also help support the Health and Wellness Subcommittee and co-chair with Debbie. And Diana, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I hope that all of you are doing great this lovely afternoon. So my name is Diana Aguilar. I am currently interning with Move More Eat Healthy, and I am also a first year Master of Public Health student at Cal State Fullerton. Go Texas!
Beautiful. So before we actually share about the mental health resources organization in the city of Fullerton, we did want to provide a little bit of background as to why we created the product you see up on the screen. So during the past several meetings we've been having with the Health and Wellness Subcommittee, meeting and really discussing our 3-year strategic plan, mental health is one of the main subcomponents of our Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting. With that said, one of the areas of focus that the subcommittee discussed was really talking about the organization of existing mental health resources that are servicing the residents of the city of Fullerton. With that said, we've been working, and really Diana has been very much spearheading this project to really organize the different resources, community resources that are available for residents. And so with that said, I will go ahead and allow Diana to just share a little bit about how we've gone through the process of organizing it, and then next step, we could talk a little bit about next steps.
Thank you, Peter. So I'm going to be using my phone to kind of go through the slides as I'm speaking to all of you. But yeah, so basically this mental health resource offers basically 6 different mental health resources per se. So we have the helplines, we have support groups, we have counseling, therapy, prevention, wellness, and we also have educational resources in this file. And in the yes, so then as we go through the file, we will go to organizations. So in total, there's about 46 organizations in this file, and each organization, for example, I cannot really read that far, but for example, there will be organizations that include 1 or 2, 3 services that I just mentioned. So one organization might offer counseling, and they might also offer therapy, as well as also support groups. So that's why we included that column that says services offered, in which we have keywords. So let's say this resource goes to a person and they want to refer somebody to that resource, they can just do Control F and see which organization provides which type of service, and then they will be able to navigate the file. So each tab, as we go through each tab, the first one is helplines. Well, services offered, yeah, these are the services that I mentioned as well. And we have the helplines, the support groups, counseling, therapy, self-care, and also educational resources. And the 46 organizations included there offer all of these resources. So moving on to the next tab, we have the helplines. And basically the way that we organize each tab is very consistent. So we included the organization name, the service that is offered, and a short description of this organization, or the service. We also included the languages, the target audience, and for example, for helplines, a lot of helplines include the live chat portal. So we also decided to include that and include the link so that people can also have access to that. We included if it's offered in more than 1 language, English and Spanish, and we found the majority of these services are found in mainly English, and if there's another language, it's always Spanish. So there's not a lot of languages that are from Asian countries, and I think that's a gap that we should really address. We also included costs, and we also included specialists available. The cost majority of the services here are free of charge, or they are basically tailored for low-income communities. And if they do have a cost, then we make sure to include the insurances that those services accept. So we can move on to the next one. So again, as I mentioned, it is very similar throughout the file. So then we have the support groups tab, we have the counseling and the therapy, and majority of these services are offered within the city of Fullerton. But for those resources that are not offered here, they are offered in Orange County, and they are offered to serve basically people who reside in Orange County. So that's why we also included those there. And we go to counseling and therapy resources. We will see that some of these resources do charge, but that's why, as I mentioned, we included also the insurance that they accept. And I know it's a lot of information. And if we go to the self-care tab, we also found that there's not a lot of self-care resources available in the city of Fullerton or in Orange County as a whole. So that's why some of those services, there are mainly online services such as Spotify podcasts that people can access and have some mindful meditation and things like that. And ultimately, we have the educational services, which is from workshops to just planning in advance on how to have that personal empowerment, self-esteem. So those are some of the things that we included in this mental health resource. And talking about next steps, is that we want to be able to transform all of this information in a way that it will be user-friendly and also accessible for the public when they are navigating this. Because this is a lot, and I would say that this would be good for our coordinators or any program manager to be able to navigate this file. However, we want to make sure to maybe create a website in which people will be able to click, and from there they go to different tabs that will showcase each service available. Or we're planning also to create flyers that would also allow people to have that information available. So that's about it for our mental health resource. Peter?
Yeah. Just to add a little bit more to what Diana was talking about, this is why, so as far as the next steps and really organizing the different resources, the goal is to include all resources being offered in the city of Fullerton, and then also supporting the residents, although they might not be in the city. However, moving forward, this is where we need everyone's help. And so every fourth Wednesday of the month, we do meet virtually. So if you're interested in sharing your input and kind of moving forward the direction we want to take this resource, we would love your input. We would love to collaborate with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, St. Jude. We really appreciate all the work you continually do in the city. Before we get into our subcommittee reports, we have a very special report for an event that the Fullerton Collaborative is partnering with Councilmember Ahmad Zara and for this Thursday night. So I will hand the mic over to him and let him explain to you what we are doing this Thursday evening.
Thank you very much, Liana. Oh, no. Stop. That continues. All right. Thank you very much, Liana. So this Thursday, this is a very important topic. Mental health is something that not only we need resources, we need to also collectively come together and start building towards this, but we also need to destigmatize mental health. I think this is another thing. Once we can create all these amazing resources, but then how do you convey this to the public, and how do you get people to come and actually take the courage to go out and say, yes, we need some mental health resources for us. So part of this discussion came out that we with the Fullerton Collaborative and with Villages of California. It's a nonprofit that provides mental health and specializes in this. We're hosting a special screening for a documentary that they did with the Orange County Health Agency about destigmatizing mental health. And so you'll hear first from people who have taken the services firsthand, and then we will have one of these individuals there to also share her story and how she went from needing mental health, resisting it, all the way to becoming now a mental health advocate after taking those steps. There'll be a panel discussion. We will have High Hopes Counseling to come in and speak on the practical terms of how to actually access mental health. And of course, we have a representative from the Orange County Health Agency coming in and speaking, as well as folks from Villages of California. And also another thing is Moonwalk, an organization that provides health or homelessness outreach on the streets, will be there also. We've got two great psychiatrists coming in to speak on the intersectionality between mental health and homelessness, which is something, again, another step towards fixing homelessness is really providing that mental health. So I hope you can come all. I have some flyers out there, not enough, but you can take a picture of it. It's also online. I think the collaborative has sent out emails. Yeah, so it is at 5:30 right here at the library on Thursday. Please be there. And then also, this is for the community. We'll have Spanish interpretation available. So please bring out the folks that you serve. Please let them know about this. That is very important to have people out there from the community. So thank you very much for this. Thank you very much.
This project is very near and dear to my heart. One of my twin daughters suffers, or is living with, I want to say, bipolar disorder, and I'm always trying to end the stigma. And when I get asked, "Oh, what does your daughter do for a living?" and I say, "She stays alive." So, you know, and me, myself, being a child of somebody with bipolar, a sibling of somebody with bipolar, the resources are never enough. So please, please get it out there. It's okay to go. It's okay to share that we have loved ones with mental illness, or that we're living ourselves with a mental illness. So I hope to see you all Thursday night.
Is that here, over in the room?
We're going to be back home on Thursday for sure. Okay. All right, into our subcommittee reports. We have a lot going on right now, and I would like to be able to start with Ms. Amy Choi-Wan, and she's going to give us some updates on what's going on with our Fullerton Community Foundation subcommittee. Let's put our hands together for Ms. Amy Choi-Wan. We all get applause just for being here today, right? Yes.
I actually have two subcommittee reports. So the first one is for Community Foundation. The board has approved to partner with the City of Fullerton for their July 4th event. They're looking for volunteers to man 3 different booths to serve alcohol. So I don't think as a board we have enough volunteers. We're kind of trying to figure out if there are 3 different organizations or if there's one organization that's willing to provide volunteers. We're gonna get some fund from participating in this. And the Community Foundation just take 10% off because we are paying for our general liability insurance and so forth. And the rest of them will go back to the organization that's going to provide the volunteers. So I'll stay around if you're interested and want to get some more information. Just come and talk to me. Yes.
They have to be certified to serve alcohol?
I don't think they need to be certified to serve alcohol. I think they need to be.
We're going to be trained. We're going to have, you know. Yes. Yes, so it's food and safety, yes.
So there will be a volunteer training session. I think Christian's here from the city.
Yes.
Do you want to answer some of these questions?
I have the ones in class.
Yeah, good afternoon. So there will be a training, like an ABC required training. Technically, one person from each booth would have to be trained, not all the servers, but we will share that information to those that volunteer.
And the volunteer shift will be about 5:30 to 8:45 in the evening.
It's going to be a fantastic event. You're going to want to be there anyways, because It's gonna be Fullerton fireworks, downtown Fullerton, the new location, so it's gonna be fantastic. So we just need some people to help out. If you wanna make some money for your organization, talk to Amy, because we can really help support you and the city.
Thank you. And once again, the Fullerton Community Foundation is here to support you guys, to increase fundraising opportunity for the organizations in Fullerton. We're not trying to compete against other nonprofits in the city. We're here to assist you and support you in any way we can. And the second subcommittee report is from Youth Committee. We're still moving forward, trying to form a youth committee, and we have a meeting with representatives from Simi Valley on the 15th because they have a successful youth committee or commission format. So we're trying to learn from a group that's working well. So we're still moving forward with that. And I think that's about it. Thank you. And next is.
Thank you, Amy. And next is, so that was Next Gen. So that was Fullerton Community Foundation, and the subcommittee fell under our Next Gen Youth Empowerment. Next we have Debbie with an update on our homelessness. We have some changes going on. I feel like we always have changes going on with our homelessness task force. We'll get there.
It is transitional. So we had to cancel the meeting, which was scheduled for tomorrow. We will be resuming the meetings, and our hope is, we had a fantastic meeting last month, discussed the homelessness report that was presented to the city council in 2020. Something happened in 2020 right after our presentation. We did not cause the pandemic, but something happened. And so it's now almost 5 years later. So we wanted to look at that report, provide an update to the city council, and perhaps encourage follow through, or congratulate them on what they are doing well in the city, and also support them. So that was the next initiative for that task force. And if you're interested in working, or you currently work in that field, we would love to have your input. We just won't meet this month, we'll probably meet next month.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate that. Okay, next subcommittee is early childhood, and Linda Prieto is here to give us some updates. Let's clap for Linda!
It's her first time.
It's her first time. We gotta be supportive here. Here we go, Linda.
Good afternoon, my name is Linda Prieto. I'm with Fullerton School District. I'm their early childhood specialist. I'm also, right now, I'm I'm interim assistant director for the early childhood committee. So we did have our last meeting for the year. We had to reschedule several times, and my apologies to that. But we had a very good meeting. On May 6th, we had a couple of resources that we presented for the community. Actually, there's a good resource for mental health. It's all online. It's free for children 0 to 12, and it's by Bright Life Kids. And this is an initiative for the whole state of California. So this is a good resource for those needing mental health awareness or any kind of coaching and supports for 0 to 12, and it's all free. And I just wanted to announce too that our preschool programs within our district is expanding services for children. So we are moving forward with a tuition-based preschool program at Sunset Lane, which is going to be a full day program. So we'll be providing services from 8 to 4 at Sunset Lane. And we also are having we're adding a co-teaching classroom to one of our schools at Commonwealth. So we'll be adding, which means co-teaching means special ed students and gen ed students combined. So we are having more least restricted environments for our little ones. So we're increasing services to that population as well. And we applied for more funding to increase 48 preschool slots within our district. So we had a lot to do for. So, and then our next meeting, we will, for the following year we'll be sending out announcements in August to have our meetings scheduled for the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like a pro. All right. And last but not least, bringing up Peter. Come on back, Peter. Do you have something new to talk about?
Yes.
So free summer. Let's go. We love soda-free summer and soda-free year-round. Yeah.
Free summer.
All right, let's put our hands back together for Peter and our health and wellness initiative here in Fullerton.
Hello again. So along with another project that the Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting is working on is at the beginning of May, we actually launched our soda-free summer. So by a show of hands, who actually remembers the year that we first launched the soda-free summer campaign?
2018?
Does anyone remember?
Is it 2018?
Yes, 2018.
Woo!
2018.
Winner.
Yes. So we actually haven't had this challenge for a few years now, since prior the pandemic. And so we wanted to re-implement the challenge just because we really wanted to focus on providing education on the negative impact that added sugars have to the health and well-being of individuals who drink them, right? And so with the soda-free summer, very consistent with our previous quarterly health and wellness challenges, members from the community are to set one healthy lifestyle goal change. And so with the soda-free summer, typically in the past, we've just focused on eliminating soda completely during the summer. However, we wanted to make sure that we also included different healthy behavioral goals. And so with that said, we're still focusing on a mental health goal. And so incorporating mindfulness into one's everyday lives, and then also engaging in more physical activity. Another thing that's different with this challenge from previous years is that to spice things up a little bit more, we've added an additional incentive where the top participant in all of Orange County receives an additional gift card as a reward. And so again, the goal with these challenges is just to make health and wellness much more engaging, a lot more fun with community members. We're also providing free reusable water bottles. We also have blue soda-free summer wristbands. And so if there's any site or any event you would like for us to promote the challenge, please reach out to me. And with that said, thank you.
Yeah, okay, almost tripped on myself there. Okay, we have exactly 5 minutes for member announcements. If we have any member announcements, you could stand up, raise your hand, I'll call you, you can stand where you are. Yes, sir?
Okay, Jerry Green, I'm with the Fullerton Observer, among other things. And Representative Zorro was our speaker today, gave a recognition to the Patriots and Paws organization. And they take donated furniture and give it to veterans at no charge. And it's in the copy of the Observer that just came out this morning. So there's copies over here if anybody wants one. The second thing is anybody that's interested, we have Airport Day coming up on the 1st of June, and it's on a Saturday. And it's running from 10 until 3 in the afternoon. There'll be a lot of helicopters and a lot of planes for you to be able to go through and see. It's an interesting event if you haven't been there before. Thank you.
Orange County 4th District is doing a health fair at Orange Grove School on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have 30 different booths and vendors and a lot of activities for the children. And it's going to be an Olympic theme. So come on out, it's free. Park on the street or in the lot at Orange Grove School.
We have one more back there, and you know. Oh.
Hi, yeah, I am representing Commissioners. We have 2 really cool programs. One is our general, where those between the ages of 18 and 28 for free can learn how to be a medical assistant, work in construction, or as well child development. And then we also have Youth Field, which is a partnership where those between the ages of 18 and 24 can work to become a clinical medical assistant or work in construction and get their high school diploma, which is incredible. And for the Youth Field, it is between the ages of 18 and 24. So if you know anyone that would be interested, we would love to have them join and fill out interest form with apply.
Hello, I'm with the Museum of Teaching and Learning, and I'm speaking to this flyer. This is a mobile exhibition that will be housed on the grounds of the Muckenthaler from May 21st to May 23rd, beginning at 10 in the morning. They're weekdays, and it's middle of the day, so we're hoping for a good turnout in spite of the time and place. And it is a mobile exhibit, so it will come and go in a 48-foot trailer. This is for parents. It says, "Your baby's amazing brain." The rest of the tagline is, "Don't drop the ball." It's for adults, for caregivers, for grandparents, for future parents. Children can join you, but the interactives are for adults. Hope you can come.
Hi, I'm Maria Jones. I'm with the Leon Owens Foundation, and we're having a golf tournament on June 3rd at Alta Vista Country Club. We've been in Fullerton for 30 years, and we provide just college scholarships and then also youth scholarships through sports. So this is our fundraiser year. So any golfers, I'm going to say this: we need women golfers. The men's always go out, and I know there's a lot of gals that golf. So yeah, so the information's here. I set flyers, but it's leonowensfoundation.org. So you just go online. Thank you so much.
Just as a good pastor anyway, we're going to have our annual raffle at our parish anyway. Best out tickets. Listen, just take them home. I mean, turn them into us if you sell them. They're $5 a piece or whatever the tickets, $50 for the booklet. And actually, the sellers of the winning 3 tickets each get $250. So it's $250. So it is worth the perhaps to sell it. It helps our parish anyway. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Linda Kramer, and I'm with the Orange County Power Authority. And we are out spreading messages about energy in Fullerton, being one of our member cities. And in particular, we still have members who don't know about CARE and FARA and the 20% discount for electricity. And right now, especially with prices like they are, mostly because of transmission, we want to get that message out there. I have cards if anybody needs them. I also wanted to introduce our programs analyst, Natalie Morales, who wants to mention a program we're working on.
Sure, thanks, Linda. Hello, everyone. Natalie Morales, programs analyst, and we're about to launch our Bright Futures grant to local nonprofits doing educational work to the community of Fullerton, but also partnership to sharing the message of renewable energy. That's the main purpose of this as well. So if anyone is interested in learning a little bit more about that grant, it's set to launch the end of this month. So I'll have some business cards too if you all want them, but Linda has some great resources for us from Orange County Power Authority. So thank you.
Our cards are on the table.
Anybody else? One more.
Hi, I'm Nicole Person. I'm here from High Hopes Counseling. I just wanted to let you know, if you know anyone that needs any counseling, please reach out. We have some information on the back tables. We do offer a reduced fee, and if folks aren't able to afford it, we do offer free counseling as well. And we have free groups all throughout the summer, and you can find that information on our social media and our website. Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate the work you're doing. You're awesome, and have an awesome, awesome May. Busy May with graduations for all you educators. Just enjoy it, and we'll see you back here in June. Thanks, everybody.